So where you all, I mean, where does it all come from? I mean, you've been away from a business so long, and you've got a real appetite. The three of you still got a great appetite for what you're doing.
I think it goes back to the times when we first did this. For me personally, in North Wales, I was in the school playground, it was a secondary school, and me and my mate could see a crowd down on the football field, and I said, come on Danny, it's a fight, let's go and have a look. And there was 3 or 4 guys from the 6th form strumming on guitars, playing skiffle. Now you're old enough to remember skiffle, as we all are. And I just, something clicked inside me. I just thought, wow, I want to do that. I went home, I said to my mum, I want a guitar. And, you know, that's how it started for me. Formed a skiffle group, as thousands of kids all over the country did in the 50s. And never had the slightest ambition or thought would ever be professional.
Yeah.
But fast forward a few years, the band, like all skiffle groups, morphed into, they either gave up or they morphed into rock bands.
Yeah.
As our band did. We had a band in North Wales called Dino and the Wildfires, who I still keep in touch with to this day. And we started playing in Liverpool. The guy who got as the first gig in Liverpool was somebody you might have heard of, Paul McCartney. Name dropping now. It's true. Him and George Harrison came on holiday back in 1958. That's how we got to know them. So when they became the Beatles, the biggest band in the North West, before they were massive, you know, they got our band an audition spot at the Tower Ballroom in New Brighton. And that's how we got into Liverpool. We started playing places like the Iron Door Club. I've got a vegetable growing into my hair. And some agent from London saw us play, and that's how I ended up in London.
Now I've seen the band in rehearsals, and I must admit you don't seem to have lost any of it. What brings you to the point now where you, after all this time, this is, I will dedicate this one to Jim. What brings you now where you've just decided, yeah, well, I fancy getting back and doing what I do best?
Yeah, there is that sort of element, but the other thing is that I've got the time to do it. You spend years bringing up a family, blah blah blah, whatever. I've retired, got time and the inclination to do it, you know. And
you're very, I mean, I must admit, since we've been here today doing the filming and doing the camera work and so on, so the energy is still here. We'll get round to, because we've got a brand new drummer here, so there's not just the original members here, but we've got but the energy is still there.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is, and I think that's
you're very proud of what you've done in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, extremely so. Yeah.
I mean, you went from a local band here in Stamford to Top of the Pops, to doing German television, to having a number 4 hit record in what was then a big market for bands, and of course you had to sell a lot of stuff then to get into the top 5. So, but that's good. That's
you know that to get in the top 5 or whatever. I mean, it's got a combination of things. I mean, it was an excellent song for a start.
Yeah.
Which suited Terry's voice, and the whole thing was quite an exciting record. You know.
Terry, my boy, the voice of Cupid's inspiration.
One of them.
One of them.
You've got to. I'm not the speaking voice. I'm the singing.
It's quite amazing, actually, because I've read a lot of people's opinion about you as a vocalist. Probably one of the most underrated vocalists in the 60s. Now I'm getting this from people that you know, that I know, and who are really know their nuts and bolts. So where did Terry come from before Cupid's inspiration came along?
I was a choir boy from the age of 5 or 6, so it was in the blood. But no,
He started as a drummer.
He started as a drummer, yeah. Very bad one. Real one came along. And they keep coming. But no, I come at night. You tune into Radio Luxembourg. It's still around then, and there was songs going out like this, Benny King's "Stand By Me," and that was suddenly became a religion for me to hear these guys and want to perform half as good as them. You know, they used their range, they put oomph into everything they did. I didn't nearly swore then, but and if I put something into it and get something out of it, a song myself, I expect that people listening go the same way.
So are you the powerhouse behind putting the original Cupids Inspiration back together?
No, it was Jim and I, or Bernie and I actually played the Amersham Rock and Roll Club, didn't we?
Which is on YouTube at the moment. Yeah.
And there'd been a funny enough, there was an interview we did with I did actually with the guy that ran the Beat magazine. Not ran it, but he was a sub-editor, I think, of the Beat magazine, and he was part of the Amersham Rock and Roll setup, you know. And he then did a thing where Cupids got back together, reunited. That was us. 2011, I think it was, wasn't it? And then we did get together, 2012. And what started me off was with this Cupids thing was the guys at Leamington suddenly put a thing in Cupids back on the road in the Beat magazine.
Right.
After the year before we'd done a reunion thing, you know, and talked about it in the Beat magazine. And it's gone on from there. That's why, you know, it's the same as Jim said. We've got the time now. I mean, bringing kids up and paying off mortgages and things like that. Not being able to keep it going. We were screwed in the first place for the money that we were earning, the record company and the agents and the. So you know.
That's an age-old story, isn't it?
Yeah, so many suffering.
So how do you see 1215? Or should I say 2015? How do you see it? Are we going to see the original Cupids Inspiration hopefully doing gigs this year?
Yeah.
Is this what it's all about?
We're putting stuff together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now then, we've got a new drummer here. We have because there's always a drummer that's got to. I don't know what it is about bands, but you burn drummers out.
Well,
The drum. But introduce yourself.
my name's Roland.
And you're
Roland, yeah.
And you're from Stamford as well, aren't you?
Well, we'll say Stamford, yeah.
Yeah. Stamford's a real, because Stamford is really we've talked about this quite often. You get certain bands come from certain parts of the country and they're renowned because they come from that. That's where their base was. Yeah. But you've been a player for quite a while before you joined.
I think I've been playing. Well, I started when I was at school with the games master. Games teacher, a chap called Dave Martin. You wouldn't have known him, but Dave Martin was a lovely guy, and he taught me how to play drums.
Right.
Well, give me inspiration how to do it.
Yeah.
Because he used to jazz the hymns.
You like the inspiration?
Inspiration.
That was very clever.
He used to jazz the hymns, you know.
Yeah.
God bless you, merry gentlemen.
Really?
Yeah. So that was all in assembly.
Was that just at Christmas time?
Well, no, he used to do it
All
different
through the
things.
year.
And he used to use brushes as a drummer.
Yeah.
Anyway, he taught me a little bit, and then I left school and I had some more lessons, and then I got in touch with one of our great friends who passed away, a chap called Jeff Espin, and he introduced me to a blues band, and that was it then.
So how long how did this all come about then? You getting in with the...
Well, I've known Jim for 40 odd years, I think.
Yeah.
And I have been in various bands with Jim.
Right.
Over the years.
Played with Jeff, didn't you?
Played with Jeff.
Wyndham George.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Wyndham George was the other guitarist. The two guitarists over the period of time was Wyndham George, who is now longer. We think he's in
France.
He's in France, and of course yourself.
Yeah.
And
On the records.
so you're in. Are you in full time now? Are you?
Oh, I thought so, yeah. I keep turning up, so.
So anyway, we do apologise because the keyboard player's not here. He had other things to do today. But so you're actually gone out now as a 5-piece, then, are you?
That's
Right.
the idea.
And I've actually heard the keyboard player playing with
Yeah,
you guys, and
yeah.
he is something else. He's a really
Great
good.
guy.
But this is great. This little video shoot was for your new website, which is going to be streaming this year, and we look forward to having the band back on the road again. My name is Greg Bremner. I hope you enjoyed it. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the original Cupids inspiration. Look out for them.